cozy, comfy, cozy. Hello, good evening, viewers. Here we come, crashing in. Good evening, good evening. Hello, Emily. Emily, lovely Emily, watching me tonight for my performance of Cinderella. Very exciting. Very. Are we all well? Hello, Peter. And Russell. Regulars. Tracy, lovely to join us. Spiffing. Absolutely spiffing. Top notch. What a high-class audience we have here tonight. And Linda. Emily says she can't wait because Emily loves cats. She's well known for her love of cats. Hello, my lord, says Tracy. Hi, Papa, says Peter. Delicious. Makes me feel all warm and fuzzy and totally bereft of fur balls inside. Another gorgeous day in lockdown. How are we all doing with that, by the way? I've been meaning to ask. It's been a long time. Hello, Guy. It's lovely to see you too. It's been a long time, hasn't it, boys and girls and ladies and gentlemen? And, you know, sometimes we can get a little crabby with each other. So I would love you to turn around to the person who you're watching tonight with and say, well done. We've got this far through the quarantine. Well done. And give them a huge hug. Hello, Adam Mary. Mwah. Extra special mwah, for you. And Stacy. Cara. Lovely. Cara, hello. Broadcasting into your home, especially for you. So yes, well done all for the quarantine. Give everybody a quarantine hug, and on we go. So, before I forget, by the way, we are encouraging all our friends to encourage their friends. So, if you could just, Russell's on his own, he's just hugged himself. Oh, that's so touching and sad at the same time. So we're encouraging all our friends to say hi to all their friends. So at the bottom of the screen, if you would like to do so, press the button that says share. It's just there, where my paw is now. Press share, and then it'll say the words watch party. Press that, and then all your friends can share in the wealth and enjoy me in all my furry glory. So, some shout-outs tonight before we continue. We've got a big shout-out for Church. Mwah! Love you, Church. We have a shout-out for June Murdoch. June, you did not expect me to say this today. Apparently she's been giggling all afternoon at the lovely video that we did where we all did a dance like a chicken. La 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 la. If you haven't seen it already, check it out. Send it to your chums and make us go viral. Delusions of grandeur there. Delusions of grandeur. So a big shout out to all those people and an extra special shout out for a little lady down in Weymouth who I know is watching, and her name, she is 3 years old, ladies and gentlemen, is Ida Kitty. Hello, Ida Kitty. She's sitting there with Mummy at the moment. Wave at the screen. I'm so excited that you're here tonight. Hello. Right. Okay, on with the show, ladies and gentlemen, on with the show. Tonight we have an extra special rendition of Cinderella. Now, you think you know Cinderella, but you don't know Cinderella as written by a rather talented and yet a rather dark man called Roald Dahl. He's terribly famous, but he's terribly famous for writing things that are slightly odd. Kate says, I can't see you. It won't let me on, Lord Purr-Purr. Oh, okay. Technical support, I suppose. Give them a call. Give them a call. I'm an artist. I'm not technical support. Right, so on with the show and Cinderella by Roald Dahl. I guess you think you know this story. You don't. The real one's much more gory. The phony one, the one you know, was cooked up years and years ago and made to sound all soft and sappy just to keep the children happy. Mind you, they got the first right bit, the bit where in the dead of night the ugly sisters, jewels and all, departed for the palace ball, while darling little Cinderella was locked up in a slimy cellar, where rats who wanted things to eat began to nibble at her feet. She bellowed, "Help, and let me out!" The magic fairy heard her shout. Appearing in a blaze of light, she said, "My dear, are you all right?" "All right," cried Cindy. "Can't you see? I feel as rotten as can be." She beat her fists against the wall and shouted, "Get me to the ball! There's a disco at the palace and the rest have gone and I am jealous. I want a dress and I want a coach and earrings and a diamond brooch and silver slippers, 2 of those, and lovely nylon pantyhose. Done up like that, I'll guarantee the handsome prince will fall for me." The fairy said, "Hang on a tick," and gave her wand a mighty flick. And quickly, in no time at all, Cindy was at the palace ball. It made the ugly sisters wince to see her dancing with the prince. She held him very tight and pressed herself against his manly chest. The prince himself was turned to pulp. All he could do was gasp and gulp. Then midnight struck. She shouted, "Heck! I've got to run to save my neck." The prince cried, "No, alas, alack," and grabbed her dress to hold her back. As Cindy shouted, "Let me go!" the dress was ripped from head to toe. She ran out in her underwear and lost one slipper on the stair. The prince was on it like a dart, and he pressed it to his pounding heart. "The girl this slipper fits," he cried, "tomorrow morn will be my bride. I'll visit every house in town until I've tracked the maiden down." Then, rather carelessly, I fear, he placed it on a bier. At once, one of the ugly sisters, the one whose face was blotched with blisters, sneaked up and grabbed the dainty shoe and quickly flushed it down the loo. And then put in its place, she calmly put the slipper from her own left foot. Aha, you see, the plot grows thicker, and Cindy's luck started looking slicker. Next day, the prince went charging down to knock on all the doors in town. In every house the tension grew. Who was the owner of the shoe? The shoe was very long and wide. A normal foot got lost inside. It also smelled a wee bit icky. The owner's foot was hot and sticky. Thousands of eager people came to try it on, but all in vain. Now came the ugly sisters go. One tried it on. The prince screamed, "No!" But she screamed, "Yes, it fits, whoopee! So now you'll have to marry me." The prince went white from ear to ear and muttered, "Get me out of here." "Oh, no, you don't. You made a vow. There's no way you can back out now." "Off with her head!" the prince roared back and chopped it off with one great whack. Bet you didn't see that coming. Ha-ha. Neither did she. This pleased the prince. He smiled and said, She's prettier without her head. Then came along sister number 2, who yelled, "Now I will try on the shoe." "Try this instead," the prince yelled back. He swung his trusty sword and smack! Her head went crashing to the ground and bounced a bit and rolled around. In the cellar, peeling spuds, Cinderella heard the thuds of bouncing heads upon the floor and perked her head up round the door. "What's the racket?" Cindy cried. "Mind your own biz," the prince replied. Poor Cindy's heart was torn to shreds. "My prince," she thought, "he chops off heads. How could I marry anyone who does this sort of thing for fun?" The prince cried, "Who's this horrid loony nut? Off with her nut! Off with her nut!" Just then, all in a blaze of light, the magic fairy hoved in sight. Her magic wand went swish and swoosh. "Cindy," she cried, "come make a wish. Anything, and have no doubt that I will make it come about." Cindy answered, "Oh, kind fairy, this time I shall be more wary. No more princes, no more money. I've already had my taste of honey. I'm wishing for a decent man. They're hard to find. Do you think you can?" Within a minute, Cinderella was married to a lovely fella, a simple jam maker by trade, who sold good homemade marmalade. Their house was filled with smiles and laughter, and they lived happily, can you guess the way? Ever after. That's a lot more satisfying version than the previous one, I think, ladies and gentlemen and boys and girls. And I hope you've enjoyed it a lot. I hope you've enjoyed it oodles. We will see you tomorrow night for a lovely story. Thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the sunshine. Have a good night. Sleep well. And make sure those dashed bed bugs don't bite. Cheerio!